2 years ago, after I was being interviewed at the Getty, and afterwards, this blonde woman came up to me.
I started to lose my nerve. I started to chicken out. How dare I approach, Judy Chicago with this crazy, silly idea? And my friend that was with me, Gail, turned out to be the webmaster for this project. She said, I did not drive with you all the way to the Getty to have you chicken out. And she literally, physically pushed me down that aisle.
And sort of shoved a packet of information and said, do you know what the Pomona Arts Colony is? And I'm like, no, I actually don't.
And I asked her if she could take some time to look at it, and then perhaps we could have a conversation via email. I told her I had a very vague, harebrained idea, and her response was, you're right. This is very vague and very harebrained. What are you thinking about?
I have a long-standing interest in art reconnecting to community and being more important in the world than it presently is. And so there seemed to be a lot of interface between the needs of the community here and what Donald and I could offer. And I think it was that at that time we came up with the idea of doing a project about the future, envisioning the future. Although I've spent most of my life in my studio, I have over the years taught from time to time, and I've always brought a particular approach to my teaching involving empowering the people that I worked with. But I always worked directly with the participants, which is what Donald and I also did when we taught together in Kentucky. So this was the first time that we ever tried to teach the teachers, that is, to translate our way of working with artists to other people and then guide them to try and see whether or not this methodology actually can be translated.
We received hundreds of applications from artists and students from all over Southern California of diverse nationalities, of incredible talent, from which we chose the pool of participants and facilitators for the project. And I think the quality of excellence is going to be exhibited in what you see in the exhibitions. We put together a 2-weekend lecture series bringing people from all over the world to talk about issues of envisioning the future, of globalization, of utopia. It was a way of informing the participants and the facilitators about the subject of envisioning the future and gave them a basis from which to work on their art.
The project of envisioning the future is best left to those people with vision, and those people tend to be artists. After all, the task of imagining an ideal societal future as well has been one of the dominant recurring motifs of art and of modernism.
We're more than just the producers of pretty things. We engage in a discourse that's abstract, that's not in that painting, but which captures certain important aspects.
We look for the artists who have stood as a beacon of social justice and of moral sensitivity, and we're extraordinarily fortunate, I might add, to have some of the people right here in our presence. Artists have often served as moral beacons.
We're actually taking the front page of the newspaper, the Imperial newspaper, saying officers hurl back aliens. So you'll see some of this practice applied across various sites and in various types of communities.
I'm speaking as a poet here. I don't write poems because I already know what I'm going to say. I start writing a poem in order to find out what I'm going to say. And sometimes I look at the result and I think, oh my God. So that is what I really felt about the situation.
In the facilitator training, basically what Donald and I set out to do is to take the facilitators through the process we were going to ask them to go through with the participants in their groups, which was very challenging to do in the short time we had. In the facilitator training, a day was a week in the project. So on the first day of facilitator training, everybody did self-presentations about themselves and their work. Its purpose is to have everybody become acquainted with each other's work and get a sense of who is in the group. Then that took a week in the actual process of the project. How are these done? These are printed and collage?
You're satisfied with?
Then we did reading discussions and discussions of the lectures.
That says You know, can't we just move on? Do we have to keep reading this stuff? Why do these have to be on the syllabi? You know, I'm tired of it.
Dan Bell Hooks, maybe there's reasons other than the language that is causing this resistance.
I've always wrestled being a white male. I saw him as a feminist and no one understood what I was talking about. And so I ended up feeling very disconnected from all the kind of traditional people that I was around.
I mean, when people say they don't get it, that can mean they don't want to get it.
The question often arises, why do research, especially from artists who have not done it before. And my favorite was when we were in Kentucky, Donald and I, and one of the students asked this question, why do research? We want to be original. And I laughed and I said, the fastest way not to be original is not to know what people before you have done. Then you are assured of reinventing the wheel.